guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to film a sit down video on how I purchased a house at the age of 24. For some people that's a very young age. Some people even purchase a house at 21. So I just wanted to do a sit down video so I could share some information with you guys that helped me along with this journey. But before we get started into today's video, I wanted to say if you could please subscribe to my channel. I'm almost close to my goal, which is 900 for this month. I'd be really excited if you guys would subscribe to me, because that would help me go further towards my goal, and it would mean so much to me. So yeah, before we get started, please subscribe to this channel, and then at the end, if you decide you liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Okay, so let's jump into how I was able to purchase a home at the age of 24. Oh, okay, so it wasn't easy at all, let me tell you this, because when I was younger, I'm going to give you a little bit of a background. When I was younger, my fiance and I've been with him since I was 18, and we had no credit, and when we did have, when we barely had enough credit, we kind of just ruined it. We couldn't really afford anything back then, when we had our cell phone bills, we were in a really rough spot, couldn't afford to pay our cell phone bills, so that went to collections. Had to take out personal loans because, like I said, we didn't have any money. That went to collections. We just basically trashed our credit. We didn't really care. We were young, we were reckless, we were dumb, basically. Not everybody at that age is dumb, but we happened to be the few that were. I didn't know anything about credit. My parents never explained it to me, never took a class in high school, nothing. I knew zero things about credit and how important it really is. So once I had my daughter Madison, I realized, look, I need to get my life together. I need to make sure I'm able to provide for her. Then that kind of clicked in my head. I want to purchase a home eventually. Of course, we did go through lots of stuff that kind of pushed us back further. So I'll get to that later. But anyways, my credit was 480, which is horrible, horrible credit. Some people are at 400s. I didn't even know it could get that low. Like I said, I didn't know shit about credit. Excuse my language. I didn't know anything about credit. And then once I started to teach myself and ask people questions what I can do to build my credit, and basically the answer was pay off your collections. Which, yes, that is true. So once I was able to get income tax money, which I would definitely recommend this, unless you're really good at saving money. Save money for sure. Say you make $2,000 every paycheck. Put 500 of that away to the side in savings, or 400, whatever you could afford. That little amount of money that you put away in savings could, one, help you pay for bills that may come across later on. If you're looking to save for a house, that will help too. Even if it's a little amount and you don't feel like you're going to buy a house 5 years from now, just saving a little bit of money goes a long way. And even income tax money, if you know you don't need to spend that money on shopping or anything, put that into your savings. That's also what saved me too. So back to the beginning, my credit was horrible. I had income tax money, and I ended up paying mine and Josh's collections off. A tip for paying off collections is do not pay the full amount. What you're going to do is call the collection agency. Getting money from you is their main goal. So whether it's the full amount or the middle amount, most of the time they're going to do the middle amount. Every person I called always did the amount in half. Say you owed $1,200. Say, all I have is $600. And if they're like, no, sorry, we can't do that. I'm like, okay, well, I'm sorry, I can't pay. They're going to take your $600. That's what I learned. So, but pay your collections off. Pay any debt you have, because one thing when it goes to buying a house, you cannot have any debt. Well, you could have debt to income ratio, is like a car payment, that's debt to income. You make this much amount, your car payment's $500. So they match those together. That's debt to income. But you cannot have anything on your collections. Absolutely not. Once you pay off your collections, your score will jump 100 points. Mine's jumped 100 points. I had 4 things on my collections, and I paid it all off. And literally, a week later, my score jumped 100 points. So by that time, I was at like freaking, what was it, 580? So once my score jumped to 580, I got a secured credit card. That's number 2, what you should do. First rule, pay your collections. 2, get a secured credit card after you paid your collections. This is just from my experience. I'm sharing with you guys how I was able to purchase a home at my age with horrible credit. 2, get a secured credit card with whoever you bank for. Chase, Wells Fargo, First Bank, any of those people, they all have secured credit cards. Basically what a secured credit card is, it's your money. So I had to give my bank $300. It's your money, but it's used as a credit card, so that doesn't mean you could go spend the $300. You're always only supposed to use, for any credit card, 30% and under. If you use more than that, then that's going to put you at a higher risk to pay that off. If you use 30%, always just pay it all at once, whether it's for gas, freaking food, like small things. So on my secured credit card, it's $300. Once I opened that up and I paid my first payment, which I think it was like $50. I paid $50 on it. It jumped my points 50 points. It was insane. Like, and you have to pay the full amount. Do not pay the minimum. The minimum will not do anything to your credit. It will honestly just build interest. But with secured credit cards, you don't have interest. It's your own money. And then once you do the secured credit card for 6 months, once you get through those 6 months, they actually refund you the money back and then make it into a regular credit card to where it'll be like $500. They like up it to $500 and they give you that $300 back. So you're going to get your money back. It sucks that you have to give it to them right then and there in order to do this, but this will help you build your credit, help you establish a credit line. Once you get that, once you start using your secured credit card and you build your points up, and say you get to 600, you could get a freaking like, if you're me, for instance, you could get an Ulta card, or like, you don't even have to get another credit card, but it does help if you have multiple credit cards. So when you do purchase a home, they could see, hey, this person is managing their money. So that's the second step, getting a secured credit card. Third step is, once you feel like, okay, I can afford a house, I can afford a mortgage. So the reason, like for us, for instance, we live in Colorado. We rented a house, which was $1,900. That's a mortgage. That's literally the amount of a mortgage. And then I was like, well, I really want to buy a house. And of course, we went through the bumps in our roads where I got into like 2 car accidents last year. One of my Tahoe got totaled. Like, it was just like a bunch of stuff. And I was like, we're never going to be able to get a house. And at that point, I was like, we need to just save our money, even if it's not going to be from 2 to 5 years from now. So that's number 3, save your money, because that will help you in the long run. And then I'll get into the other steps. So yeah, save your money, that's 3rd. 4th, once you save your money, and if you at least can save up to $7,000, that's not that much, you can do, so save up to $7,000. And then that's when I would suggest calling a realtor, or if you have a family friend that's a realtor, or anybody, I would get in contact with a realtor, and they're gonna pull like a soft credit check on you and give you a pre-qualification. If you might be able to do first-time home buyers. That's what we did. We did first-time home buyers. Not a lot of people get accepted for them. Well, actually, you do. It's very hard to get. It's very hard though. You have to have a lot of qualifications. Your credit score has to be 620 above. And then with first-time home buyers, I would definitely recommend it if you're a first-time home buyer and you want to get your foot in the door to purchase your first home. Go first-time home buyers. Talk to your realtor about it. He'll get with the lender. A lender will help you throughout the whole process on how to, like, say if they pull your credit and they're like, hey, like, you need to work on this and this and this. Your lender will go over that with you. Just because your stuff isn't perfect, they'll be able to go through what you need to do in order to get to the process of buying a home. So speak with a lender, a realtor. A realtor always knows a lender, and they'll pull that soft credit check, see what you need to do. If you're good to go look for houses, they're going to take you to go look for houses. They're not going to go and waste their time and take you to look at houses if they don't feel like you're going to get approved. So what happens is they will go and go through your credit, see what's good, what's not. If you have like something on your credit, they're gonna be like, no, you should probably pay this off first and then come back and talk to us. So I would definitely recommend that. Like I said in the beginning, you don't want to go and be like, oh, I paid off my collections, time to go look for a house. You want to make sure your money's saved. That's the steps I took. Everything I'm telling you is literally the steps I took. I thought buying a house was going to be like the hardest thing ever. It is, as far as when you get towards under contract. That's when it gets very hard. But before you even go look at houses, it's not hard at all. You just have to have motivation, and whether you have a kid or you just don't want to live in an apartment no more, like that will motivate you. So yeah, definitely I would say save your money, get that secured card, pay your collections, debt off, whatever it may be, and also don't take on any new debt, because once you're like, oh, I want to buy a house, like, do not take on any new debt, because that's going to make it harder in the home buying process. And honestly, the only thing I could really tell you is just to save your money. Like, that's going to save you in the long run, versus if you're buying a house in 3 years. Every income tax you get, use what you need to use, but don't go blowing it because you're like, oh, I have this money, let me go spend all this money. No, you need to save that money if you really want to buy a house. And it's worth it. It sucks having to hand that all over, but it's worth it for sure. Do all those steps I told you to do. I mean, if you don't even have any debt, then you could skip step 1. Like, literally, if you don't have any debt, that's perfect. All you have to do is just save. So whether it's a little bit out of your check, whatever you think you could afford to save, do it. If it's up to $7,000, perfect. It could even be $6,000. So with first-time homebuyers, they actually give you, say your closing costs are $20,000. So they'll pay 13 of it, and you just have to cover the rest, and that's it. Like, that's what we did first time home buyers, and it helped out so much. The only problem is when you go to sell your house, you have to pay that money back to them. That's the crappy part, but it gets you the foot in the door to, own your first house. It helps out so much. And yeah, you just have to have a 620 credit score, and yeah, and you just apply through the state. Well, not through the state, you could ask your realtor about it, and then they could help you with it. And then you just take a class, like a 4-hour class. It's very boring, but so worth it. You have to take that class in order to get the thing. And they'll set that up once you're under contract with your house. Or you can even take it before you go under contract, just to get out of the way. But it is worth only for like 70 days, I think. But yeah, so that's how that works. So those are the steps I took to buy my house. I mean, it was very hard, especially because, sometimes you run into like 5 bumps in the road, or maybe even 20, and you just feel like giving up. You're going to feel that way for sure, but don't. Just be motivated and just keep pushing. Even if things get really hard, you need to push yourself. And especially once you're under contract, that's the most stressful time ever, and you think to yourself, is it even worth it? But it is. It's going to be worth it once you get those keys to your house. Every stress thing you go through, it's going to be hard. And also another thing is you need to be caught up with your taxes. Say if you're buying a house in 2021, you need to make sure you filed for all the previous years and 2021. Or even if it's not time for 2021 taxes, make sure you filed for the previous years. With mine's and Josh's situation, he's 1099. That was a little difficult and tricky, but we got through that. Another thing is stay at the same job that you... So number 5? Stay at the same job. Even if you freaking hate it, you have to be at the same job for 2 years. Or say if you were to be at a job doing receptionist, say you were at a job as a receptionist for 1 whole year. And so you were so sick of this place, but you found another job to be a receptionist at, you can do that. But you have to be in the same position for 2 years, and even the year that you're purchasing the house. So you have to be consistent with your work, because if you're not, they're like, this person can't even hold a job. Why are we going to lend them money? So that's another thing. Stay at the same job. That's very important. They're going to ask about that. Also, keep track of all your taxes. Make sure you keep a folder of all your taxes, your W-2s, pay stubs, everything, because they're going to want all of that when you go to apply for a house. So those are the steps I took into purchasing a house, and it was very stressful. I did post some vlogs about it. I'll link one right here. You'll see some on my channel if you go and look through my videos. I've like literally cried in some of them because I was so frustrated. Like I legit like wanted to give up, and let me tell you, I'm glad I didn't. Even the first house we went under contract with didn't even go through, and that was very heartbreaking. But then it led us to this house, which was 10 times beautiful than the one we were originally looking at. But yeah, also, once you do go to your realtor and they pull your credit, a soft credit check, they'll be able to tell you what your pre-approval is for. So then after that, you guys could go and look at houses and take your time with it. You don't want to rush into something, because then you're going to be later on like, oh, I wish I got this in this house, you know. Unless if it's not your forever home, then that's okay. Like this house we're in isn't our forever home. We're probably going to sell it in like 5 years, because we do eventually want a forever home, and this house we're going to outgrow it for sure. But yeah, so I hope my video was helpful to you. I am going to be filming another video on the process of home buying and what the process is, like the steps of it, and from under contract to closing and what to expect. I'm going to be filming that, and then also my experience with first-time home buyers. So 2 more videos are going to be coming your way, but this one is the first one I wanted to share with you guys because it's very important, you know, and I think it's important for me to share with you guys because there's a lot of things people didn't tell me that I mentioned in this video, and I didn't expect it, and it sucks when nobody really tells you what's going to happen, and you kind of think rainbow and butterflies, and sometimes it's just not. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up at the end if you decide you like it. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.